Hello, I'm so proud to be joined by four incredible movement leaders from across the labor and climate justice movements to talk about how we're uniting the fight and making the connection between climate justice and labor justice.
Hi, my name is Kate Walton. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm a nurse at the emergency department at the University of Wisconsin Hospital in Madison, Wisconsin. When I started working at the hospital, we had actually had our union rights taken away by the Wisconsin legislature as part of the Act 10 legislation passed in 2011. At the time, there were still some remnants of our union rights at the hospital, but over the last few years, those rights have been slowly taken away from us. Individuals without a lot of power made a lot of situations very bad. We had no recourse to administration. We had no recourse to management. And every worker had to advocate individually for themselves for things like fair scheduling and benefits and for their own protection. You can imagine sometimes management listened and sometimes management did not. It wasn't until we started organizing that we saw changes made to communication and staffing. What we learned is we have a better chance of being heard when we all raise our voices together. This is what it means to me to be in a union.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Adriana Alvarez. I am a McDonald's worker for the past 9 years now. I have been a part of the fight team for the past 6 years. And as we all know, McDonald's is a huge corporation. They have donated millions of masks elsewhere, but to their workers. So they're not so much of a good corporation right now. And I have a couple questions for you guys. How many people in a union have ever been a part of a union or know someone in a union? Show of hands on the screen. If you don't know anyone currently in a union, but maybe your grandfather was in a union, for the sake of this exercise, sit on your hand. Thanks. Has anyone ever wondered why there are so few people currently in a union? I can give you a hint. The same corporations and politicians that deny the very existence of climate change are the same folks that have attacked labor unions for decades. Laws and lobbying efforts by big corporations want nothing more than to protect their money. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Markita Blanchard, and I'm here from Detroit, Michigan, because it concerns me. The labor laws. The labor laws that were originally established were not established for the essential workers here in the state of Michigan, as well as other states as well. It wasn't established to include farm workers. It wasn't established to include every essential worker that stands on the front line. I'm here today to implore that everybody step up to the plate. We're in a crisis right now. It's an environmental crisis as well as a working environmental crisis. We have Southwest Detroit, which you know for years has been polluted. And then we also had the Flint water crisis. These things are tied together to not be safe for everybody. I'm kind of at a loss of words because I'm becoming very emotional right now because these things have been going on for so long in my lifetime. I refuse to not fight for a future generation. As we know, if we don't start the fight right now, it's not going to be resolved. And I'm here to say that on a daily basis, we come out every day to prepare the world tonight for tomorrow. We all know that if we didn't work tonight, the world would not function. So that makes us one of the most essential workers here in the whole United States, in the whole world. It's a global thing. We need to be recognized as being essential workers who stand on the front line on a daily basis, who fight hard in every society manner for that the laws to be changed. Southwest Detroit has been polluted for years. We suffered also a Flint water crisis, which the statute of prosecution is about to run out. That means the people will not be held accountable for the actions they committed. That's why laws need to be changed. Laws need to be adjusted according to how society is functioning. How it functioned years and years ago is not what's happening now. Therefore, I stand today totally committed that we all stand up and put our voices into action, demand that politicians take a stand for the people who vote for them, the people who run the city. And I'd like to thank you guys.
Hey everybody, my name is Renata Kamakura. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a graduate student worker at Duke University, and I'm also part of the Sunrise Movement. Markita laid out really well, but even though we're in the middle of this COVID-19 crisis, this crisis has been a long time coming. The same low-income Black and Brown communities that are getting hit the hardest by this pandemic are the ones that have been hit with economic disenfranchisement, these low-wage jobs that don't pay enough and don't have good benefits. Political disenfranchisement with voter suppression, over-policing, mass incarceration, and the school-to-prison pipeline, and on top of that, environmental degradation and some of the worst effects of climate change. If we try to tackle these things one at a time, we'll end up playing whack-a-mole with forms of injustice, where we try to push one down in one place, it pops up somewhere else or in some different way. Like you move someone out of a floodplain in North Carolina to a place where they can't get a job, and so they can't afford to live. What we can do instead is work within our groups and our movements and with other groups and movements to tackle these intertwined issues at the same time. And then we can move towards a just and equitable future for everybody, no matter where they're from or the color of their skin. And that is what we're doing at SCIU.
Because of our union, we got our hospital CEO to sit down with frontline nurses and hear our voice for the first time.
It was hard just before this COVID-19 started to be able to get our sick days. It was the he said, she said thing. So we developed a petition, we turned it in, and therefore made it easier for us to be able to claim our sick days. They basically had to come up with a sign-up sheet so that we can get our sick days paid.
And also, our victory in Detroit. We are one Detroit, and because we showed strength this past year, we were successfully able to pull off 2 strikes that let the contractors know that the workers here in Detroit, neighboring Detroit, suburban Detroit, are fed up with the conditions that are being done. And I can successfully say that Local 1, Detroit, is on the move. We're nonstop. We're not going to give up the fight. The fight has just begun. The fight will not end. The fight will continue to carry on with strong members like the people who have come before me, the people who come after me. Stay strong. Don't give up the fight. When we're right, and when we fight, we win. Thank you.
Heck yeah. I'll say at Duke, we managed to, last year, we organized a Payville campaign that managed to guarantee 12 months of funding for 5 years for all PhD student workers starting in 2022, which is something that didn't seem possible until we managed to get together and organize together. So all these examples of success is stuff we're super excited about. And so I'm thrilled to get to introduce you all to SCIU President Mary Kay Henry.
Thanks so much, Renata. You 4 are an incredible expression of the 2 million members all across SEIU and the millions more fighting for 15 in a union and demanding in this pandemic that we protect all workers, no matter what the job class, who they work for, Black, white, brown, Asian Pacific Islander, everybody has to be included in the benefits and the economic protections that every worker and all of our family members need in this moment. And you've just heard about why we think all of these fights for justice are inextricably linked. We know at SEIU we cannot win economic justice unless we win racial justice. We know that those 2 fights are connected to a fight for all immigrant workers being included. And so we aren't stopping until every immigrant is safe and welcome in this nation. And today we're talking about uniting the fights between labor and climate justice. And all of these incredible leaders have just shown that we are crystal clear that the forces of corporate greed and structural racism are up against us, but we are more powerful than those 2 forces when we unite together across movement. And that's why today, as we celebrate Earth Day, we're thanking the youth-led Future Coalition, who is underscoring how we are all in it together to win it, because we know that a more powerful labor movement that is joining together and winning in the ways that you just heard can also win to make sure that every community can breathe clean air and drink clean water. It is an outrage to us that Black, brown, and white working people and our communities are disproportionately in the most polluted zip codes in this nation. And we're not standing for it anymore. When we fight on the job, we also fight in our community, and understand that together we can win. And as Markita said, when we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. And when we link the fights of climate justice and labor justice, we can win faster and more powerfully together. Thank you.